Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
Today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, so I had an idea like a year ago. In fact, I put a note on this bottle of Buffalo Trace saying opened January 2021.
Oh, I thought you had that note there so you could remember which was the open one and which was not.
Well, and that, yeah. So here's the deal. Obviously, this is like 93% used bottle, maybe more.
Way to go, specifically 93.
Well,
you know?
I mean, trying to, it's maybe more than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thought was, what happens if we don't touch that bottle for a year?
Well, the idea is, and a lot of people say that, as you leave whiskey, whiskey never really goes bad per se, but it does go bad in the sense, at least from what I've been told and heard, if you leave it in there for too long at too low of a volume, there's kind of a balance there. If you have it open like that, and you let it sit for a while, I don't think it's going to do much. But this one being on this, and it's been this level for a year.
A year, yep, have not opened it in a year. And so the idea is this is another bottle from, we think, the same run. It's sat right next to it on the shelf for a year.
Same batch, yeah, probably came from the same case.
Yep, same barrel-ish. I mean, they're not single barrel, but yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, so that was thought. So we're gonna do a pour of each of them and see if there's any difference. We did kind of a test with the decanter after just a few weeks.
Yeah, we did a decanter video
but
to see.
this is similar, but a full year and a lot more,
Yeah, I'm really interested to figure this out because sometimes you have those rarer bottles on your shelf that you don't want to pull from every day.
Yep.
But you also don't want to leave it there so long if it's going to go bad.
It goes bad, yeah.
But then it also makes you wonder, you go to a bar that has, let's say a George T. Stagg on the shelf, and there's this much left in it. Maybe they're charging $50 a pour and they don't sell it very often.
Yeah.
Is that sitting there for a year and you're paying $50 for it's realistically at a bar, it's probably not a year, but
yeah. Well,
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. So we're doing this for science, as we call it.
Always for science here at the Bourbon Note. So half used, 93% used bottle is going to be on the right glass? Okay. Do this kind of setup how we do most of ours. Uh-oh, we didn't prep that bottle.
This is the easy part. If you're new to the channel, Ben's got a recurring challenge with removing the plastic.
Yeah, it's
really
and
it's not just Ben, it's me as well.
Yeah, we fail miserably at taking the plastic off.
The wax is occasionally, wax 1, Bourbon Note 0.
So a little Bourbon Note behind the scenes, we removed the plastic ahead of time because apparently we can't handle doing it.
And so now I'm stuck in a quandary.
What's that?
This bottle is now 98% gone.
Oh yeah.
Do we finish it, or can we let it go longer? We don't know.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
Exactly.
I mean, I think at this point you could probably just finish that, and I think you've got a couple of extra Buffalo Traces on the shelf. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna nose these first. Back and forth and.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm gonna go
rinse the dishwasher glass. Make it fair.
And we recently did a review of Buffalo Trace, so this should be somewhat...
and it was not this bottle.
It was not this bottle. Otherwise, we would be violating our premise. Brown sugar is kind of the prominent note for...
I'm not noticing much on the nose at all, actually. Much difference. I mean, I'm getting a lot of good flavor out of both of them, but...
Yeah. No noticeable difference, like there's not like an obvious like bad note or something.
Yeah, there's not like for sure. That's I mean, if I turn around and you switch these around, I'm not gonna be able to tell you which one was which.
Agreed.
And we're professionals. Yeah, I'm getting nothing noticeable on the nose.
Nothing distinct. All right, so let's call the nose equal.
Yeah, I would say that's a dead equal. If you set these down in front of me and I didn't know what the experiment was,
yep.
I'm like, okay, I don't know what the difference is here.
Yep. Okay.
All right, let's go in for the flavor here on the 93% one here.
93% going.
Trying to picture this versus last time we had Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, I get something unique, but I mean, every time you have bourbon, it's a different day, depending on what you had to eat. Like, I think your taste buds are going to work a little bit differently.
So do we do water in between these, or do you just sense they're the same?
It should be the same. Like, the big question, I think, is there something unique about this one?
Well, I think the fair way to do this is to have the other one now and then go back and have them each against each other.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to go in for the brand new bottle. Yeah, I got to go back to the beginning now.
So here's my impression. I feel like maybe there's the slightest bit of difference. But again, if I turned around and you switched around my glasses, no way I could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both Buffalo Trace.
At first, I thought maybe the one that was almost gone came up a little flatter.
Yep, me too.
But to be honest, I think that was, sometimes you just swallow it a different way, hits a different part of your tongue, or doesn't hit a certain part of your tongue. And so now, after a couple sips of both of them, yeah, I don't think I could tell these apart.
I really wanted this to be more distinct, but this is actually really good news.
So you wanted it to be bad news?
Well,
eternal pessimist? Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Well, okay, that's a totally different argument, and I agree with that. However, this is good news. If you're someone like you or me who happen to have a bottle that you don't want to drink all the time because you're never going to see it again, so you want to hold on to it, it's probably going to be good, even when you get well past halfway. I'm not sure what the shelf life when you're down to 93% gone is, but a year is not enough.
I know what we should do with the rest of this bottle.
Go another year?
Next January on the Bourbon Note. So we are in January 2022. What is it, January 3rd?
We still got a note.
All right. And then you cross that, or you can leave that on there, and we drank it in January 2022. All right, that's a goal to have. That's a new channel goal we just set.
New channel.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is good news because if there's any difference, it's so subtle.
It's so subtle at a year. So like, for instance, you have that Wild Turkey Revival. That's a special bourbon that mostly has a special place in your heart because of other things
I bought that
bourbon.
the night of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah,
and I can't find another one.
Yeah, you'll never find another one.
Super expensive.
Yeah, and so you kind of want to take your time with that. But if you knew that at a year it was going to be bad or taste totally different,
oh yeah, I would have.
Then that's a little bit disappointing.
And that one's over a year old and tastes just as delicious as it always has.
So,
yeah, like I said, I agree with that. That's good news. I wonder if it's whiskey to whiskey or bourbon to bourbon, if that makes a difference. Like, some people are really firm believers in the neck pour versus even just a day later. Or
I think this test and the test we did with the decanter, I think bourbon is bourbon. Whether it comes from the neck, whether it comes from the bottom 18%, there's so much alcohol in it that not a lot's going to happen to it.
Right.
I really think.
The only argument I would make maybe for the neck pour is that it's being exposed to new air. But I mean, before it goes in the bottle, it's exposed to air, completely exposed to air. You know what I mean? It's not like it's in a vacuum and it's bottled and it's never seen air before.
Right, yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe we do get like 2 Evan Williams single barrels of the same batch.
Sure.
And open one the day before, 2 days before. But I mean, yeah, like you said, the decanter thing,
I think there's nothing to this.
I think the decanter would have definitely shown a big difference.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's essentially the same thing as a... Then again, the bourbon in the bottle was just as open, just as long as the bourbon in the decanter, because I opened the bottle, poured it in the decanter, and then did the experiment.
You messed
so
it
they're
up.
both, so we didn't do a fresh neck pour versus, so I don't know, maybe we can do that, but yeah, I agree with you, this kind of...
I think this goes a long way saying, enjoy your bourbon however you want.
Yeah.
Don't be in any hurry because the bottle will be fine.
And try this at home.
Yeah,
Do
totally.
try this at home.
Do try this at home.
And let us know in the comments what you find. Really, honestly, a great way to do this would be to get two, I say Evan Williams single barrels because it's a single barrel bourbon that
If it's the same barrel.
Yeah, that's the thing. You go to the store and see if they're from the same batch, and then you experiment with those, you know, side by side, because then you're literally getting the exact same bourbon. And I say Evan Williams because it's probably one of the cheaper and better single barrels. Better for the price.
Yeah. At least available in Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about this with my bottles. I don't know, maybe next year we'll find out this tastes horrible.
It tastes horrible.
Yeah.
Well, 93% was okay, but 98%? We've gone too far.
Yeah, I think, sometimes it's a matter of whether you could versus whether or not you should. I mean, are we really tempting the fates here of bourbon if we leave this for another year and attempt to drink it?
Well, that's funny.
So, well, I would say that I wouldn't worry about this with your bottles.
I agree.
So, which, like you said, I mean, it's just... Now, I'm not going to worry about the whole neck pour thing. I'm not going to worry about well, this is a fresh cork pop or whatever. It's like, I don't care. Like you said, bourbon's bourbon.
Bourbon's bourbon. I don't think it really has any difference.
Now, if it sits out uncovered...
Well, that sounds like another video.
Yeah, we'll do that as well. That will probably make a bit of a difference.
Especially, if there's other
If
flavors.
you pour a glass in here, let it sit for an hour, and then pour a fresh one out of a corked bottle.
Yep.
That may make a difference, but
Could be.
This certainly did not. So... yeah, hold on to your bottles as long as you want.
And Buffalo Trace is awesome.
Yeah. All right, well, this has been more science on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Cheers.